Hi folks, Rick Wedell here. I'm the Chief Investment Officer at RFG Advisory in Birmingham, and I thought I'd reach out to you today with a brief market update. Today is Monday, May the 4th. It is Star Wars Day, so May the 4th be with you. If you're looking for something to do this evening, I'd recommend any one of the Star Wars movies. They're all pretty good. As I speak, the market's trading at about 28.20 on the S&P 500, so that's down about 50 basis points. It marks our third straight trading day of declines, which is the first time that we've seen that in a while. After a killer April, that was literally one of the best months for the S&P 500 going back about 40 years. So the S&P 500 giving a little bit of that back. We had been up around 2,900 on the S&P before the selling started. Now we're at about 2820, so just above that 2,800 level that we've talked about for a while. A couple of things going on in the marketplace that's driving a little bit of negative sentiment this morning and really late last week. One is increasing tensions with China. The administration has gotten a little bit more vocal about some accusations that maybe the Chinese stockpiled medical supplies and didn't let on exactly how serious the virus was. Also some accusations coming out that perhaps this is a virus that escaped from a Chinese lab as opposed to a virus that just naturally made the transition from bats to people. Remains to be seen whether or not either of those are credible. However, the tension is certainly palpable, and of renewed trade war is not something that anybody wants. As we've talked about on these economic updates before, trade wars just suppress economic activity, which is not something anybody really wants to see. The other thing that I think you're seeing out there is just a little bit of angst over the patchwork nature of the reopening of the U.S. economy. So different states going at different paces, opening different things at different times. Everything from the Georgia model that went full on open to some of the states that are more further north, whether it's New York or some of the others that remain closed for extended periods of time. I think that gives people a little bit more pause around the timing of the recovery and candidly the speed of the economic recovery. And last but not least, you had Warren Buffett come out over the weekend on his shareholder meeting call and sound, I would say, a little less optimistic than Warren normally sounds. So I don't know whether or not you're a fan if you listened to his meetings or calls in prior years, but he sounded a little bit more down in the dumps than he has previously, which I think is weighing on the market just a tad. On the flip side of that, you have both JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs coming out this morning with reports by their top economists saying that the market, that at least economic activity, is probably bottomed at this point. We're starting to see states loosen some of their lockdown restrictions. That means that more people are out and about doing things. And as we see more people out and about doing things, we will start to see more economic growth rebound. Goldman's number was actually that the economy would contract at about 32% in the second quarter, which would be the peak, followed by 16% growth in the third quarter and then 11% growth in the fourth quarter. So nice to see. As you know, the market's very forward-looking, so nice to see that bottoming, which will then translate into higher economic growth in the back half of the year. So that's kind of what's going on. Just keep in mind as you think about the markets that the market is a very forward-looking animal. We don't know when we're going to get back to normal, but the market does anticipate that will happen at some point during 2021, which helps to explain why we're trading where we are despite a 32% contraction or an anticipated 32% contraction in the economy in the second quarter. So with that, as always, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to either myself or your advisor. I hope you have a lovely day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.